Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions. Janet, we know you're out there, even though your camera's not working. To the light circle, the circle of infinite light, where Jesus, every day, Jesus shows us when we ask him where the denials of divinity are. Very worthy time well spent is to have him show us the denials of divinity. So we're going through chapter 20, and we were just talking, we've been on 20 for almost 20 days now. This is very worthwhile to look at each one of these desires as given, then ask Jesus to show the energy around it. And I was contemplating last night in the light of divine being, and I could see there was some energy no to the atonement. So we're looking today at Jesus, show us any energetic investment in saying no to the atonement. Not wanting the atonement. And we stick to the philosophy. We go until he says no. We keep asking, is there any energy around whatever desire to clear all the energetic investment and the desire to say no to ourselves as divine beings? You believe the atonement is murder. Okay. Is there any residual energy of saying no to the atonement? That it's any belief that it's murder? I'm willing to see this in the light of divine being. Infinite light. Put that energetic investment over. Call it the Jesus handshake. That the light, put it together with a thought, with the light, infinite light, which is already atoned. Does the infinite light of being and the honesty of God know anything about an atonement? Just knows love. That's it. So if there's not perfect peace, somewhere under awareness is the desire to say no to being atoned, to be at perfect peace, perfect joy, perfect love. Thus you desire to experience murder of yourself rather than the atonement to kill. Try to kill ourselves, kill yourself, thus self off, to hide from infinite light, and ultimately see that there is no need for the atonement whatsoever. This is releasing a lot of energy, just looking in the light. Does infinite light need to be atoned? Can it find the need for the atonement? So we can see in the holy instant, there's nothing, no forgiveness, no atonement, infinite light of being. And then those fragmentation and consciousness below the level of wearing saying, no, God, I'm not interested. Because God will not enter where God is not invited, even though he's always here. The light's everywhere, but it will not be an awareness. Will not be the recognition. We've tossed God out of the Garden of Eden. You desire to get rid of peace and keep guilt instead. So this is another, we looked at this yesterday. It's good to look again. Thus you desire an experience of guilt instead of peace. Guilt is the means by which the ego throws peace out of the house. Willing to see any guilt. Any desire to deny guilt. In the divine light of being and honesty of God, does light know anything about what guilt is? Guilt is denial of the atonement. The desire for an identity separate from the Father, for an experience of it. And we can always look in the light of divine being, infinite divine being, is separation known by direct experience. Can we find separation? It's light of divine being. We see that's impossible. So we're going deep into the body. We're going to look at the body again tonight. Does the light of divine being know what a body is? You don't either. You see that? When these thoughts and grievances are cleared out, it's like even what a body is unknown. There's an idea, there's a concept, there's a body concept. We can ask the divine light. In the honesty of God, is the body concept real? And hear the answer from the voice for God. No. Okay. Is a body real in the light of divine being? You hear the answer from the light. Today's lesson was gratitude. Gratitude is acceptance, merely acceptance of light, because it's natural to the light. Gratitude is a natural condition of light. Not gratitude for something. It's gratitude for nothing, for everything. All bundled together. Perfect happiness, just celebrating itself is gratitude. We're so used to gratitude being for an objective experience, or thank you for this, and thank you for my car, and thank you for my boat, and thank you for, which is a start for gratitude. For gratitude, it's a start. Let's see that the light, the gratitude and the light, is the gratitude in divine light, honesty of God, grateful for anything. It's beyond objective. It's a gratitude that's beyond objective experience. Gratitude points beyond objective experience. That there's an object, there's a body object. Does gratitude know what a body is? And hear the answer, voice for God. So we're so used to gratitude for something. Gratitude is what is in the light of divine being. We can ask that in the divine light. Gratitude what is? It's all there is. In the light of divine being, and hear the answer. Let infinite light answer that question. Via Jesus, the Christ. Words through super consciousness. Does the divine light need to know the answer to what gratitude is? The consciousness, which plays like it's not the play of consciousness, in the denial of light through consciousness, does need to hear it, does need to know that answer, because it played so well that to forget what it is. So it's helpful. You believe the body is valuable for what it offers. Thus, you desire an experience where you feel the body has value for experiencing pleasure and pain. Let's look deeply at that. They're like the byproducts of guilt. Hanging on to guilt, ta-da, pain and pleasure. Anything, that's the game, anything but God game. Pleasure and pain. Avoid pleasure, avoid pain, gain pleasure. And then they're the same. They're both like avoidance of, does the infinite light of being, divine light, know anything about pleasure or pain? In direct experience as divine beings. Does divine light know anything other than joy? And the light comes back and says, doesn't know anything other than joy. And then you go, well, Jesus, where's the joy? Because there's still denials. There's a desire for pain and pleasure, which is to deny that joy is here. Infinite light is as it is celebrating. Even the thought, I'm not celebrating, is that true? No. That's a clue. Pleasure and pain are the clue that guilt is underneath, and that underneath that is the desire to have an experience of denying divinity and saying no. The twig, it's just wanting to be not everything, not synonymous with God. You believe that salvation lies in the body. Thus, you desire an experience of attempting to find salvation through a body. In the light of divine being, can salvation ever be found through a body? This is probably a question you can't ask too many times. The light has no idea what salvation through a body means. It has no idea what a body is. But that's not the light, you know, that at the end of the tunnel. It's the light that we can see right now. The light that's been painted into the devil in order to play the game of little body. Big world, little body. Rather than big God, little world. Big God. I don't know who said that. Oh, yeah. I don't know where that came from, but from some story where someone said, I have a big problem. And someone, there was a response, I have a big God and a little problem. Put God first. Rather than seeing the light of truth, this is impossible. Forgiveness is undoing the eye that salvation comes through a body. Salvation is of mind and the dissolution of the idea of a body. Seeing that the body is unknown in the light. I'm just going to say it. In the light of divine being and honesty of God, is salvation of the mind or the body? And hear the answer. Getting into multiple choice now. But see that we know this information. We're light. We're celebrating the light in a light circle. We know this. Okay. You believe that peace would dispossess you of guilt and leave you homeless. That's the upside down belief. In the light of divinity, honesty of God, does peace dispossess, leave you homeless? The peace of God. Does the peace of God leave you homeless? That's in order to perpetuate a sense of separation, that belief has to be that peace takes away guilt, and without guilt, you'll be homeless. How logical, after a while, we look at the insanity. I can't even find a way for that to work. Let me see. You find that peace would dispossess you of guilt. God, the peace of God would take away guilt, and so you won't have a home. That's how much we want guilt, to have a home in guilt. Well, body is guilt. That's the home we've chosen. To keep guilt is a body. That doesn't sound so funny, probably sometimes, but now it sounds funny. You believe that peace, in the infinite light of being and honesty of God, peace is just peace. Does peace have anything whatsoever to do with a body? Having a body, not having a body? Does the light of divine being make a stipulation? You will, in infinite light of being, it's sending out a memo going, if you don't have a body, you're not going to have peace. Or a memo that says, if you don't have guilt, you're not having peace. In the light of infinite body, we have to be honest about this, because there is a belief that the peace of God is the trip to hell. That's the only way that the egoic thought system can survive, is that upside down, that twist, the belief that peace comes through a body and peace comes through death, rest in peace in the future after the body falls away. Yet in the divine being, in the light of God, infinite being, the light that's celebrated, is that true? We have to really look at if that's true. Thus, you desire an experience of finding a home in guilt, the body. That's the body's an attempt to hide from God. Can the body, in truth, in the light of divine being, hide from anything? Does that hide the light? Even if we have a body, does that hide the light? It's all pretend. Can't happen. And feeling homelessness in order to avoid peace that is your home. So we make a body pretend that we're abandoned by God, so we can blame God for abandoning us and never have peace and be homeless. Have a body to be homeless, experience of being homeless, and avoid peace. That is insane, yet that is what's hidden below the level of awareness. The body was made to avoid peace, to avoid the light. We can ask the light and see in the divine light and hear the answer. In honesty of God and the light of divine being, was the body made to hide from peace? Here's the answer. The funny thing about this is everyone gets the same answer, because the light is equal opportunity to tell the truth for everyone. In honesty of God, can the light ever feel at home in a body? Does it feel at home in a body? Does it say, I have to have a body to feel at home? It's like, no. It doesn't deny that there's a belief in a body. The light doesn't deny anything. It's the light does not deny anything. It doesn't deny us anything, not a thing. Even the thoughts that are untrue, it doesn't deny. It doesn't support them. It just says, let me show you another way. So now we're taking it into, you believe the world is outside of you and has you at its mercy. Thus, you desire an experience of the world outside of you having you at its mercy. Jesus, is there any desire to have an experience of the world outside? And having the world me at its mercy. I'm willing to see it directly. In the divine light of being, infinite light, can the world have us at its mercy and truth? Can we find a way in the light of divine being to be at the mercy of a world? Does the light know what a world is? Infinite light? Can it find one? Light doesn't know. Infinite light, divine being doesn't know what a world is. I give everything I see all the meaning it has for me. Does the divine light give anything any meaning? Infinite light. You do not believe that the answer of your true identity is already given. Thus, you desire an experience where you feel the answer is not already given. So that's a desire. Another desire, you desire an experience where you feel the answer is not already, to true identity is not already given. I'm willing to see it. Is there any desire for an experience where the answer of true identity is not already given? If Jesus says yes, we just admit it. Yeah, okay, you're right. Because we can ask Jesus, he's going to tell us where the bones are buried. Like, Jesus, do I have a desire for experience? I'm willing to put that up in the light and see it in the light, and then see it in the light. See that it just disappears in the light. in the light of divine being is the answer, true identity already given in our direct experience. You believe that if you look inward, your eyes will light on sin and God will strike you blind. Is there any belief? It's too late. I'd already have been struck blind. Too late. We've already started looking in the light circle, so we know that's not true already. But the belief may play below the level of the subconscious mind. That's the very thing that keeps beings from looking inward, because we have to make a God that's going to strike us blind so we won't look, and so we can continue playing da-da-da in consciousness. We can play the God ain't God awful song, and we can play that in consciousness. And the only way to do that, because if we look as the light, is the light going around looking to strike somebody blind? Infinite light of being that's here. Can we find, is it does it strike anyone blind? Does it gets funny. Does it know what blindness is, the infinite light of being? Doesn't even know what blindness is. It just is. Thus, you desire an experience of feeling that if you look inward, you will find sin. That's the desire to keep sin, and God will strike you blind. Is there any residual of looking in? It's kind of too late now. After how many weeks of light circles? But that could be residual, so it's always good to look. Jesus, I'll ask him. Do I have a fear of, no. Any fear of finding sin in there? That's the desire to keep guilt alive. Not looking is the desire to keep guilt alive and play in the world. But there's so much fear. We've just built this world of belief that there's a fear that God's going to get us. We had to make God really bad, which means we had to make ourselves really bad because we're the same as God. In the light of divine being, honesty of God, are we the same as God? Is the light saying no? Does the light ever say no? You can ask that every day, all day long, and see if the light ever says, no, you're not the same with God. It's the same answer every time. Is the light anything other than benevolent? That's why we have to look to see that these fabrications in dreaming are not true. You desire an experience of feeling. If you look inward, you will find sin. That's the beauty of these light circles. It's so easy to look in. It's guilt-free. Okay, let me see if that's there with Jesus. If he tells you yes, okay, put it in the light and see if it'll last in the light. And then check in again. Jesus, is that still there? Is there anything else to see? It's so easy, ridiculously easy. And it should be, because we're light beings first. Why wouldn't this be easy for a light being to see that it's light? It only gets hard when it has to get so bad in the face that consciousness as in fragmentation is not working. I mean, it may be out there, but it's not a happy place to be. So sometimes it has to get really, really desperately unhappy before it's like, oh, this isn't working. Maybe there's another way. You believe you have secrets, okay? You desire to keep secrets. Keeping secrets is a way to keep guilt alive. It's like keeping secrets is like, again, having that rabid dog out in the backyard and you keep feeding it and wonder, why is that dog coming all the time? I just don't understand it. There's this dog back there and it just keeps coming and it keeps biting me. And I don't know why it's biting me. Just because I left food out doesn't mean it would stay around. That's how we feel. We feed guilt. The consciousness function is to feed guilt. and keep the fragmentation experience going. You believe you have secrets, thus you desire an experience of keeping secrets, and secrets make you feel apart from God. We're not keeping secrets from anyone other than ourselves. And the big secret is that we're already divine. And that's the secret we're trying to keep from ourselves and say, I don't know I'm divine, but it's too late because we already look in the light circle. In the light, divine light of being, does the divine light have any secrets? Let's just check in. Is it like have a little secret hoard somewhere off in a corner? It's hiding. It wants to hide something. No, the light just is. It's here. Infinite light of being. It's not looking for a place to have secret. But just, think of a time when there was a secret and to feel that contraction. The only way for divine being to feel contracted is to try to keep a secret. But the big secret, again, is only that the secret is we already know what the light is. As Tony Parsons wrote, it's the open secret, already here, too late. You're already toasted by God. You're already in the divinity category. You don't have a choice to be divine. But you can pretend and fall asleep by keeping the secret from yourself. You use secrets to hide from yourself your inheritance, thus to deny yourself your daily bread. There's something to be kept hidden from others, quote unquote. That creates another right there. You believe in conflict and that the ego has the power to be victorious. Oh, Jesus is saying, give me all your secrets. Just have a talk with them about a secret. Okay, Jesus, this is a secret. What is most helpful? I have this secret. I haven't wanted to share it with anyone. Just put it in the light to see that it's not true. Because to keep a secret is to hold yourself hostage, guilty. Because it's like saying that there's something wrong that happened. Usually secrets about something that you did, or I don't know, what are secrets these days? Yeah, usually it's something you think you did wrong. Like, oh, Mom, I didn't take the cookie out of the cookie jar, but it's other things. Something you did in your lifetime, you stole money, or whatever these kinds of things are. Just talk to Jesus about it directly and put all those ideas in the light of being and see if the light of being really is also concerned about it. But if you're feeling contraction over it, that means you're not facing it fully. That's what he's saying. Stand into it, just face it fully and see that nothing actually happened. You believe in conflict and that the ego has the power to be victorious. I could see that belief was here. It's like, just put that in the light. Thus you desire an experience of conflict and feeling the ego has the power to be victorious. In the light of divine being and honesty of God, does the ego have the power to be victorious? It doesn't even exist. How can it be victorious over divine being? Is divine being sitting here worried about an ego in any way, shape, or form? Jesus, please show me any desire below my level of awareness to experience conflict and feeling that the ego has the power to be victorious. There are times in the spiritual journey where that feeling will arise, and if it does, just know it's a desired experience. I can remember thinking that, really feeling that, oh, I'm never going to get past this ego. Well, it's the ego who's saying that. You don't see that at first sometimes. Like, I'll never get past this ego. If we want it, it can't go. Because keeping the ego is tossing God out. It's giving God the boot from our awareness. So But we can see with the honesty of God, does the ego have any power over the light whatsoever? Is the light like hiding in a corner going, oh, the ego's going to get me? Infinite light. That's this. What's helpful about this is then we can see the play in consciousness for those beliefs when they're playing. They rise up. Then we can just say, you know, Jesus was saying, look, is the light worried about any of this? And if the answer is no, then it's none of your business. Let that not be any of your business. If the light's not concerned, not your business to be concerned. That's really turning it all over to the light, really. You believe the body is weak. You desire an experience of weakness in the body. This is a kingpin too. This is a really good one to look at. Thank you, Jesus. You believe that if the body collapses, you will be saved. That's all the sickness, any form of sickness. If there's some kind of fault in the body, it's the fault of the body, rather than looking into the mind to seeing the desire to keep guilt alive. You believe that if the body experiences illness, you will be saved. Thus, you desire an experience of the body being ill and collapsing to be saved, and therefore make you safe from your divine power. Okay, let's see if there's any energy around that. Put that in the light. In the light of divine being, can the body actually be sick? Well, first of all, we know there's not a body. Because we've already no body, no illness. Illness is the belief, is expression in consciousness. It's a desire. It's a desired experience. It's all it can be. That's it. And we can ask the light. In the divine light of being, is illness an expression of desire for experience? Hear the answer. It's a desire for a future, Jesus was telling me. It's a desire for a future, experience of a future. Because then the ego has a project to work on. I could try to, because then it has a whole way. Think how much when somebody really gets ill or something. And then we got to see it in innocence, not to judge it for anyone else, or because it's not to, this is not about judging. This is just seeing looking directly here for ourselves, whether what Jesus promises, that perfect health is possible. And let's just ask the divine light so we can hear it inside. Jesus tells us and hear it directly. In the divine light of being, is perfect health possible? To never give a thought to anything ever not working with the body. And hear the answer. Illness occurs because there's a belief that salvation somehow is in it. And we can ask the divine light of being, does illness, dis-ease in a body show up because there's a belief, desire that salvation's in it? And hear the answer of the divine light within. So we know this. Is perfect health and well-being of a seeming body form entirely possible? Just by looking at all the desires for the experience with Jesus, the one who knows. And in unraveling the belief that salvation lies in it. Feeling the body sick gives you, and seeing that it can't keep us, even if the body is desperately sick, can it save us from our divine power? even if the body dies, does it save us from our, does it change the light in any way, shape, or form that's here? It's impossible. Feeling the, when this is seen, and we're so present with sickness and the desire for sickness that we can see the next thing's true. Feeling the body sick gives you pleasure. Find anything that seems to be going on with the body and just be with it. Any kind of pain, any kind of dis-ease, and just be with it and just ask the divine light, is there pleasure in this? And the only answer, and just see what the answer is. Even though it seems to be pain, see the little energetic wanting of it. That's the experience here. I just report on my experience. Every time I look at one of these things, like I've talked about it, headaches, throwing up, falling and hurting my foot, stubbing my toes, whatever assortment of body experiences. And have Jesus just tell you direct, yeah, you actually wanted to break your foot, but Jesus, is that a desired experience? Yep. It doesn't feel so funny when it's actually happening, but we have to see that how powerful we are. That's the solution. The solution is already given by God. None of this stuff is necessary. It's a signal of dreaming, of investment in the dream. Feeling the body sick gives you pleasure and a sense of power to deny God, guilty pleasure. And look closely to see you desire this experience of guilty pleasure. It's like to push away, deny God experience. When we really look deeply at it, we'll just ask, in the divine light of being, is this a push away, deny God experience? And hear what the light says. Yep. This is an attempt to falsely join with yourself through the body by making the body real. Yeah, like when I think I told the story when I was like throwing up and okay, Jesus, okay, give me, because he says, ask me and I'll give you all the conditions. That's what we're doing in every case here when we're going through each of these, is asking Jesus, okay, give us the conditions under which these things appear in consciousness. And, I was throwing up, I was really feeling pretty sick, but it's like, no, I'm going to ask Jesus. And first of all, it works. Because he delivers them out, and then you say, you admit it. Oh gosh, yes. You want to, this is the throwing up was a symbol of wanting to project outside of myself. Okay. All right, Jesus. Yes. Okay. I get it. I see it. Then we can see it directly, turn it over. He goes through each piece of it, making the body real, making projection real, the projection of a body real. The body merely expresses what you believe. You have a desire to experience the effects of your beliefs through a body. Jesus, in the light of divine being, will you show me places where there's a desire to experience the effects of my beliefs through a body? And of course, he'll point them out immediately. Said, Jesus, is it possible not to experience this body at all in this lifetime? And the answer, yes. Not even experience that the body's here. And we know it's possible. In the light of divine being, infinite light. Does infinite light know a body's an experience, a body being here? That's deep. For your beliefs converge upon the body, the ego's chosen home, which you believe is yours. You desire an experience in which all that you believe converges on the body, giving the ego a home as though the ego has taken hold of it without your choice. This is directly from the Course. That's the whole gig, is to create an experience in which it feels like there's no choice in it, when it is all choice. To create an experience of a body and to say it's not a choice to have one. I didn't do that. My parents did that. They made this fun. In honesty, what were they doing? In honesty of God, it's a concept. In honesty of God, do people make bodies? I hear that answer. Bodies are an idea rising in the mind of the dreamer. Your chosen home. So the body has chosen the home to displace the memory of God. And then pretend like, no, I couldn't have chosen that. No, it's happening to me. That recognition of choice is the game changer. The admission that it was a choice. Because as long as that choice is denied, you cannot see how powerful you are as a divine being. You might see that you're infinite, that there's something here that's infinite. You won't see the power of infinite mind. All the power given by the Father, actually. So you can be like, oh, I'm really awake because I realize I'm divine. It's good, it's helpful. But there'll be that haunting, because there'll be beliefs below the level of awareness that sickness is possible, that something can happen to the body, all those underlying little egoic things. It was we watched a beautiful video by Ajasanti, and I love Ajasanti. It's really, really wonderful. And, his pointings are very clear. And he did say something really interesting about that spiritual teachings don't, they're really only about the spiritual journey and recognition of reality, and they don't address all areas of life. And the Course in Miracles addresses, we were talking about this, addresses every aspect of life. Every aspect, every question that can ever be asked is answered through A Course in Miracles. And this divine light, asking the light for the answers. That's just extraordinary. That's happiness. Because to seemingly spiritually awakening and then still feel like there are going to be areas that you have quote unquote no control over, or you may suffer over still. This is the end to suffering, seeing that it's a desired experience. That is a choice to suffer. It doesn't just happen. It is through the power of infinite mind to create a dream of suffering. It is the signal of suffering. That's suffering, that they're sleeping, the sleeping mind. Thus, you desire an experience in which the ego is your choice, the decision to give a home as body identification. You have joined with the thought you have made of yourself. The ego is the thought we've made of ourselves, so that you can avoid what is already joined in truth and light. The ego's avoidance of light. Yet when we see with the light, is there anything that we want? That we want to avoid? In truth, when you look directly as the light of divine being, is there something to run from? Is the light of being scary at all? It just is. So we've made it scary, something that's impossibly scary. It can't be scary. How's it scary? How's the light that's here scary? So scary is a desire to deny the light. That's honesty of God. And it's going to arise, and we can say it. But with honesty of God is, what I'm seeing in that is, I feel a twitch. I desire to deny that I'm a divine being. That can be hard to see at first, but if it's practiced, it can be seen. This is denial of divinity. Keeping the illusion to, you desire experience the ego joining with the illusion of yourself and keeping the illusion to deny yourself. This is the illusion of losing control over yourself, yet your true self, the light within, remains unchanged. Thus, you desire the experience of the ego, of suffering and despair and hopelessness with no way out. The feeling as though there's no way out. The hopelessness is a denial of divinity. See carefully what you have chosen to experience and let the memory of the light, the Holy Spirit within, lead you out. Is the light, this infinite light, the means out of the dream in the light of truth? The only means out. Cannot make it out without the light. See happily that what you have desired to experience is impossible. See in the light of divine being, it is impossible. In the light of divine being, is it possible actually to deny the light? Can any desire that arises in consciousness divine deny the light? The light is before I am. That's why this is what Jesus is offering here is so powerful. There's light, denial of light, absolute reality. And put that together in the light of truth to see what's true. Gorgeous. Thank you, Jesus, for this direct looking at what's true. This deep looking at what's true. Thank you for joining us in the circle of light. We carry the authority of God. And to say anything less about this divine light, that we are the light, it is denial of divinity. And that we're called. Amen. Bye, Janet.